welcome back up Frank Wazetter.
I am Frank. I needed a cue card for that. How'd you love Sam? Sam was great, isn't he? I love the value proposition part, and I love the fact that a couple people here were talking where they got supreme value out of conversation. Because if we're really thinking about things, and we're thinking about entrepreneurship and business building, really what we're talking about is the art of communication, right? Can you communicate your ideas in a way that impacts somebody else and helps them convert, whether that's a sale, whether that's a sit down, whether it's just I want to communicate with you. And sometimes that's not easy, is it? Sometimes the art of reaching people and influencing people is difficult, whether it's through a visual media, whether it's through words spoken or written, and it becomes overwhelming, right? Yeah, I should know. I literally had to read a book called How to Talk to Anybody when I was 20 to figure out how to talk to people. They had 100 ways. It was great. I was like, okay, great. Now I can talk to people. So yesterday we were going through, it's what's the method, the way of scaling digitally? How does that come about? We call it the digital momentum formula. So if we're talking digital momentum, what we're really talking about is eyeballs. We're talking about how can we get people to get exposure to us so that we can give them value, right? So I'm a terrible writer, I'm illegible. People tell me that I should have been a doctor, and I said, that's great, that means I'm gonna make money either way, because clearly having terrible handwriting means you're gonna make a lot of money. So bear with me. So the first box here is you need eyeballs, right? So that's where we're going to social media. We're going to events, here you're connecting with people, right? And you're able to speak, you're able to get introduced, if you're not getting opportunities out of this, you're messing it up. I'm telling you that right now. When you guest on somebody's podcast, when you write something for another organization, when you go to a networking meeting, what are you doing? You're connecting, right? You're gaining exposure. You're making connections. And somewhere along the line, what you want is a money conversation, right? At some point, we've got to live. At some point, we've got to say, okay, I got to get some dollar exchange going, because that's just the medium that the world exchanges on, right? So how many of you guys have been on a LinkedIn or something like that and you immediately had the sales pitch that comes up, and you're it's Joe just sends you a message, be like, hey, I read your profile and I think you're really interesting and I've got a fantastic opportunity for you. Do you ever follow up to that? No. God, no. They're playing a numbers game, right? They're sooner or later, some idiot somewhere is going to go, they like me. I hope you're not that idiot. So what do we need? When we're being social and we're connecting, what do we need between here and here? Audience, yeah, value. Leverage. I love that. I love connection. We need a connector. We need a connector to go between these two things. And ultimately, when we're talking about digital, that connector is your website. That is what allows you to go from I'm introducing, I'm being social, I'm giving you value first, I'm giving you an introduction to everything that I do, we're having fun, to let's transform the conversation to a money conversation in some capacity, right? Has anyone ever been in a sales pitch where it's like someone's trying to like warm up to you and be like, you know, do the whole, what are they calling them? The build rapport, talking about your dogs and the picture that's on your desk and that interesting thing over there in the corner. And at some kind of another, there's this awkward transition into like, hey, let's talk money now, right? Doesn't work too well, does it? So at a basic level, that website allows somebody to go through all the value you're giving them and transform it into a money conversation because they get to determine when and how they want to talk about it. Problem is, most websites suck, right? Yeah. But sucky websites, do they produce profit? No, they do not at all. So, fortunately, we're going to fix that problem for you and give you guys all a 10-year head start. And to do that, we're going to do my favorite activity on the planet. We are going to find total strangers and make fun of them in a way where they can't actually fight back. We're going to talk shit behind them, and they're not even going to know it. So what I did the other night is I said, okay, cool, I'm going to go Google search a couple local people, and thank God that most websites suck because it took me about 2 seconds to find a couple of great examples. So the first example, well, I'll just let Paul bring it up because this is the DIY. I'm doing it myself. I'm hustling. I did a good job. So, Mr. Frizzle Green, and please, Mr. Frizzle Green, if you find this video somewhere on the internet, send me a message. I'll do it for free, okay? I just feel that bad for you. I mean, 1996 is calling and they want their website back. And you can tell this poor guy did it himself because it says website designed by Frizzle Green in 2019 down there. Now, this guy, for all I know, could be an Olympic gold medalist and a total badass. But what impressions are we getting right now? Looks like a flyer? That's very kind. What? Looks like he lives in a basement? Okay. So far, he lives in a basement. It looks like a flyer.
Don't look like he'll actually have pride or take his job serious.
It doesn't look like he's got any prior experience whatsoever, right?
Or, yeah, or just take anything serious if he didn't take his website serious.
Yeah. But he said he's a certified personal trainer with over 25 years of experience.
I don't think that even matters anymore.
Are you telling me that you can't just say, I've got 25 years of experience doing something and I'm, you know. Yeah. So who would feel very confident giving this guy like $100 an hour for some personal training? Yeah, no one. What about like $10? Would you give him a sympathy like $10 an hour? All right, so we got a couple sympathy $10 an hour, okay? So Frizzle, we got you, man. We got a couple. So let's go to now this next guy actually took the step to hire somebody, and you know, it's all right? You know, this is probably what most websites look like. You know, he's kind of cool there with the backwards hat. He's styling. He's a personal development coach. He's helping somebody. If we scroll down, let's check him out a little bit, right? I can transform my life. My personal development program will improve your longevity, help you fuel resilient and healthy, improve your energy levels, and enhance your daily effectiveness. And he does fitness, food, flexibility, and future. I'm sure he had a meeting somewhere with some guy saying, hey, let's do like some Fs. And my brain is weird. So in my brain, I'm thinking a Christmas Story, and they're trying to change the tire, and everything goes everywhere, and the kid goes, oh, fudge. Except he didn't say that. If you seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. So, I mean, he's hired somebody. I mean, this is not a like, would you say there's something functionally bad here? Like, it pulls up. But is this inspiring you on any level? No, what? No, it's not. Yeah, it's just it kind of does it pass the eye test? Like, okay, like, you know, I would trust you more than Frezel, right? Yeah. So if you're looking at Frezel and you're looking at Damien, you're probably saying, well, Damien, right? So at least he didn't say he's got 80 years of experience. So that's a plus. We're not going to look at his about page because it's probably there. So, but what essence, like, what do you feel about Damien right now? Just nothing. What? He's trying. He's trying, right? He's trying. Is he worth $100 an hour? Do what? I guess it depends. Yeah, you know, maybe if he, maybe if he makes a really awesome one-on-one connection in person, right? I heard someone say, you know, maybe 75. What's our sympathy number for this guy? 20, 10, 20, 25. All right, so he's doubled up. He's 2.5x the revenue. So I guess he's at least getting the money back for whatever he gave the developer, right? So what are these things missing? Are these, what are these two sites fundamentally missing? Showing me what you do? Video. Pop, who they are. Testimonials. Man, they're missing a lot. See, you guys know, you guys could start charging for this. So they're fundamentally not having a conversation, right? They're not giving perspective to their value. They're not giving away, you know, like this guy's just barely passing the eye test and saying, okay, great, you know, like you have something, you're legit enough to pay the, you know, $12 a month or whatever to keep your website up. Fantastic. The other guy should probably take Travis's advice from yesterday and just take it down. Just make it a mystery. So we're going to show you a third website, and this person's actually in the audience today. And what's the first impression you get from here? You're badass, right? Badass and confidence. Yeah, see, she's looking right at you. She's like, you're gonna be badass. Let's do this. You're gonna be a badass, you're gonna be confident, right? So do you want to learn more? Yeah, you're scrolling down, all right. So let's scroll down a little bit. What's the next part? A question, video, right? Do you genuinely, you know, do you genuinely truly love yourself from the inside out? So what do you think Trista's valuing now? Going up, yeah. So scroll down a little bit further because you're like, all right, cool. Connecting. So ask yourself, what if? So do you think that maybe these questions might be something that you're thinking about if you're looking at personal training or trying to get a trainer? You know, hey, what if you woke up leaner with, you know, had more energy and actually loved the lifestyle you were creating? You know, what if you could ditch, you know, this all or nothing that I have to be on diet, or if I had to just be doing, like I'm going from diet to crash, so on and so forth. And what if I could actually, you know, have a life that I am obsessed with and good with? How does that make you feel? Feeling good? So have we mentioned anything whatsoever about what Trista's doing yet? You know, there's some, you know, like allude to it. I mean, you can get it, but like have we sat there and said, I got 20 million certifications to do this? No. So we scroll down more. So then, again, we're identifying the problem. We're giving people perspective. So by giving people the problem and framing the problem to them in a story that's like that you can relate with, you could sit there and go, okay, yeah, I see that. No, yeah, that is definitely the problem. I'm getting it going. So now you're building it up in your head. You're saying, okay, but we're not just going to leave them hanging with the problem, because every good story, right, has like, normal life, stuff problem that happens in the middle. And what happens if you just leave people hanging out there? Yeah, you're just like, cliffhangers suck. I don't want to see the next episode. So fortunately, we present the solution. If you scroll down, simple, quick, to the point. Phase 1, phase 2. Again, someone's not bought in fully yet, so we don't necessarily want to overload them with information. Like at this point, would it be appropriate, you're still warming up to Trista, would it be appropriate for me to give you like a bullet point list of every technical thing that I've ever done in the past like 20 years? No. It wouldn't have any value. You wouldn't be able to, you'd be like, okay, that's cool. Words and stuff. Like if I told you with my field that, you've got to combine HTML with CSS and JavaScript to make a website, and then, on the SEO port of things, you want to have JSON LD powering a schema database, and does that mean anything whatsoever to any of you? Except for maybe one person in the room. No, it doesn't. So it has no value for me to say it. And it's very easy when I express it like this as a technical person, because they're really, they're complicated, weird words, because we're complicated, weird people. But this is the same thing that happens in any service. People are not experts in your field. You're the expert in your field. So basically, we'll just scroll down to the rest. We're exposing the 4 W's. Who is Trista working with? What's the way that she's going to solve the problem? And keep scrolling and putting it in perspective of everything like that. And then saying, hey, this is what we do, this is what we're going to get. And then finally, at the very end, here's the last bits of information, like why this is going to work, why I'm different, and the testimonials, so that way you've got the social proof in order to bring it all together. Now, looking at this website, do you think Trista is worth at least $100 an hour? Yeah. Well, there you go, Trista. I just got a whole bunch of customers. More? Yeah. Does anyone want to give a higher number than 100? 200, 300? Yeah, you got to talk to this guy. So what was the difference between $10 and $25 an hour with sympathy and up to $300 an hour? Professionalism. Value questions. Yeah. Showcasing the best content. The wrapper was much better. It was relatable. So that's what you want. You want the website to have a conversation. And that starts with story. And that starts with connecting with your 4 W's. It starts with being able to say, okay, what is the fundamental problem I'm solving? And how do I share my stories to give relevance to my experience? Because nobody cares about the bullet points that you give them. Like, nobody here cared that guy was like, 25-year personal trainer, right? But you care an awful lot about Trista's experience because there's context and relevance to it. So if you want a badass website, start with your story. Start with who you're talking with. Start with why. If you want a badass trainer, don't talk to me, talk to Trista.